For help. Welcome to Jay Silver Presents, where we present the best in esports from your favorite players. I'm joined by Blaber of C9 after their win versus FlyQuest. So I was just listening to the desk a little bit. APA said this game sucked from both players. So not my words. That's APA. You can say that to APA, but I want to know, do you think it sucked?
I think we had some oopsies, but I honestly didn't think the series itself was that bad. I think we had some ints and some throws, but I think the biggest thing for me is we should watch some of the team fights. I felt like we didn't play the team fights that well in a lot of them, and I think that's more individual than, well, it's definitely a team thing, but we just need to watch those and figure out how to play them better, because that's my initial reaction from the series, from the first two games.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask a little bit about game one, because that kind of set the tempo for the rest of the series. It was a back and forth until it wasn't close anymore. I know you've been in very similar situations before. What goes on in the team discussions to make sure, hey, we lost, we threw it, but we need to make sure we win this game 2 and 3 now?
I think we just kind of moved on from it. We talked a bit about the players reviewed the game a little bit in between the games, but we kind of just, after game one, you just shake it off. You move on to game two. The result of game one doesn't matter. Obviously, you saw we won the series, and we want to stay focused for the whole series. And dwelling on the loss will not really help us. And I think we're all just very, experienced at this point, that we kind of know how to play a series out. And yeah, I think game one we should have won, but there were some mistakes made in that game.
Mm-hmm. FlyQuest is a team very similar to how you guys were a couple years ago with the Perks lineup, where you guys, if there was a fight, you guys would just take the fight. There were a couple moments in this game, especially in game 2, where they've aced you once, and then they kept going until they ultimately threw the game. Was this something you guys were preparing for?
I think at game 2, sorry, you talked about game 2, right?
Yeah, we're talking about game 2.
Yeah. In game 2, I think I just made a bad call on the red buff. I thought they were going to fight on me, and that we would win the fight if they fought on me, but I got chain CC, so I couldn't press my ult or get any Thunder Sky procs. I didn't have Mercs at the time, so I got chain CC, and I just died, and then I think that made the game a lot harder than it had to be, because Aurora ended up getting a ton of kills, which was not great. She was able to one-shot my Seraphine and Senna with the amount of items that she was able to get from that fight. So I think if that situation didn't happen, then the game would have been very clean. They wouldn't have been able to fight, because Aurora just wouldn't have had the items and ability to kill anyone.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, like you said, you guys did win the game. So how does it really feel to be, even with these mix-ups, 6-0?
It feels good. I think that we'll have a tough opponent in Team Liquid next week, but personally think that we're improving a lot right now. Our scrims have been a lot better in my point of view, and I'm feeling confident going into playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are locked. At least this game will lock you top 2, unless something happens this evening, and then Team Liquid, that gets a whole wrench thrown into things. So, but that's neither here nor there. They mentioned on the desk today Sejuani. I know your love-hate relationship with Sejuani, but it appears you may be one of the only Sejuani players in at least this newer patch. So walk me through a little bit about what makes Sejuani still this viable champion.
I think that I'm very good at Sejuani, for one, is why it's been working, but I think these days that jungle role in some of the games requires you to have some sort of engage, but I don't always want to have I don't always want to be committal engage, depending on my team comp, and Sejuani is one of the best non-committal engage champs in the jungle role, and I think I've just been making it work well. I believe I'm the only one going Spellbook right now, and I feel like I'm able to utilize that rune pretty well. Like you saw when I got pushed out of my chickens, level 7, I was able to TP back and chase down their bot lane and kill the Mundo, and actually get back in the game that way. So I think I'm playing the champ well right now, and I think other people should maybe pick it up.
And how'd you know I was about to ask you about Summoner Spellbook? Not many. We don't see it much from the jungle with Summoner Spellbook. I think one of the only champs, at least in my recollection, could be like a Pantheon who could play it. But is Summoner Spellbook, despite its multiple nerfs, something that players should continue to look back into and be like, hey, if Blaber can play this on Sejuani, why aren't we playing it on like a Houei or a Twist of Fate?
It's, to be honest, Spellbook is just a rune that you kind of go if you feel like there are no other runes to go. I feel like Aftershock is very useless on Sejuani because I don't feel like I ever want to queue in, or unless they're like a free kill. And I don't want to, like, that's the only way I can realistically proc my Aftershock. If I'm throwing my ult from a long range, my Aftershock isn't going to do anything. I'm just going to proc it and, have a bunch of resistance, but no one will be hitting me because I threw it from 700 range away. And in most situations, I don't want to be the one queuing in. I kind of just want to stand there and being annoying, queuing people who go in and slowly hit them with W, eventually stacking out my E. So I feel like the rune just isn't utilized very well on Sejuani. And that's why I go Spellbook. It's also nice to have Inspiration and Domination. Those are the two best trees for Sejuani, I think. You're able to go Ultimate Hunter and Free Boots and Cosmic. So it's kind of nice to be able to go those two runes.
Mm-hmm. You alluded to it a little earlier. Next week's a big week. You are facing Team Liquid. You yourself and Inspired, as well as Hambach, are considered some of the best junglers in the league. But Jose Diota has definitely been getting a lot of people's attention, especially as an MVP candidate. What are your thoughts heading into the game versus Team Liquid?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think about TL as like a Jose team, I guess. I just think of them as like a pretty strong early game team. Just all 5 of them. I think they lane well, and playing against TL is always tough in the early game. So that's what I'm thinking about going against them. But I personally think that we're better than TL right now, and I think that we'll prove that next week.
Mm-hmm. If you were to take any mistake from this game, without giving Scrim stuff away, what do you think is going to be most important for you specifically to improve on after today's game to make sure that you are doing the best you can versus TL next week?
I think just team fight judgment will be very important next week versus TL, and that's something that I want to review today and work on it for next week.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. As I make clear every time, you and I are both from the DMV. So this week is Mother's Day. So I don't get to ask many players this, but I'm kind of curious because today does fall on it. You have a big family that supports you. So I'm kind of curious, like, now that you're very far into your career, how does it feel to have had your family's backing in the beginning of your career to now they've seen you on world stages, they've seen you multiple iterations of C9. How does it feel to have like a supportive family behind you?
Super awesome to have a supportive family. I appreciate everyone in my family that supports me. They pretty much come to every single one of my finals, all of my live events, and yeah, I just really appreciate the support I get from them, and I want to win for them.
Lastly, is there anything you want to say to the fans of C9?
Yeah, this will be the split.
This will be the split. I should be out of the C9 subreddit. I know exactly what you mean by that. With that, Blaber, thank you so much for speaking with me, and best of luck in your game versus TL.
Cool, thanks.